And then same thing. We're gonna try to rip aggro off of me if you can. I mean, you can choose to attack different targets if you want, or you could purposely try to focus one down. Some DPS will just do that anyways, but if people are thinking about it for a little bit, then they'll kind of change as they go. Yes, Shamu, that's default. Yes, always 2/3 of your GCD, always. Start pulling the strongest enemy. It's like this sentry here is the most resilient. And it's a gunner. So I'm going to pull everything over here so it's centered on it. So that way AoEs bounce off of this enemy, assuming people are actually attacking this one. They may or they may not. Well, it's not a bad idea. Not every person's going to have AoE attacks that are just around anything, right? I am saving my rampart for the next pull. Second clemency. And we are good to go. We still have the 10-second reprisal for a little bit. And this guy's the tankiest one here. We pop our Holy Sheltron. Bulwark's up. And if you're really feeling it, you're like, oh god, you know this is really hurting us, right? You could just shield bash if you don't have a white mage. And suddenly you're taking a lot less damage. Provokes 25, shield lobs 20. I'm not going to worry about Holy Spirit on the opener because I want to make sure I have aggro right away. Here's the opening AoE. You could put Passage of Arms up on them, but assuming people are spread out, you may not wish to. You can cover like the lowest HP target if you want, or later on somebody that has a vuln. And then they're going to come back. We're good. Now here, in our left or right sidestep, you can take a look up if you don't know which way to go. You can also tell by the way that people are moving. Why not put an intervention up on somebody? And we get ready for our downtime again. And for this next one, ideally people are dodging in such a way that you have... Hey, sometimes you're just going to have double melee. That's fine. But ideally you're dodging in such a way that you have people set into quadrants. Right? Look at that. Look how clean that is. But if you're tanking this, and you're worried about people getting hit by mechanics, you should probably be the one to take a bone stack. You're more likely to live. This dodge doesn't really matter, but again, if you have a melee, you may wish to dodge where they're going to be. Give them uptime. No reason not to. Go middle and get ready for downtime again, and then the boss will die. And it's like, oh no, I've used all my gap closers and my AoE burst. What am I going to do? This next pack, it's going to be so dangerous. Now, if you're on like Dark Knight or something, you may want to wait a second because that pack's going to suck. But on Paladin and on Warrior, it's fine. You just press Equilibrium or Clemency, and you're good. You're good. Gunbreaker may also want to wait a second. You know, that's kind of like whatever. And again, be tabbing between your highest enemy targets, which you can see over on your enemy list. You're like, oh, this guy's the tankiest one here. It's either a resilient enemy, or it's just somebody who wasn't in the pack. You could also use that during the pull to be like, oh heck, clearly their AoEs are not attacking these people. Now see how I just did Shield Lob, Voke, Shield Lob? And if you want to, one last Clemency will do, and that's fine. And you can pull around this corner if you want. I like pulling around the corner just so that they get a little bit closer to the boss, but you don't have to. And then once you're in your magic phase, it's like it's all GG, right? So you can kind of see the other ads are dying a lot faster. So I'm going to Goring Blade this guy. And then you have one of two options. Either open the chest on the way, but if it's out of the way, I would like let a healer grab it. If you're going for the loot. I don't really care, but... oh, it is what it is. This guy definitely provoked this guy. He's far away. And you can Holy Spirit if you got Holy Spirit up. And then again, you're going to have a raid wide, right? So you get people. Oh, but oh no, I got Dade. I got Dade. You might have moved forward to grab me, but I was coming back to get you guys. This mechanic here, just dodge. If you feel like you have to stand in it, you can take a couple of these hits. Watch this, I'll do it right now. As a tank, it's not really going to hurt you. And if you have mitigation up as a party, it's not really going to hurt them. But, you know. Fulminous Fence. This mechanic could be really annoying, especially because we have this little guy here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on this side. You're going to see me move through the boss, not on this set. I'm going to go around the fence first. And then after this AoE, I'm going to go through. That's why I don't go through on the first one, because you might get hit by electricity. Do one more dodge, and then we're done. You could just peepo run all the way across if you want. If you want. I'm going to have to watch out for Shinda on the next raid-wide AoE. They do have 45 seconds, and I have an intervention save for them, so it's not a big deal. Here, you're going to notice that our stoppers, if you look, it's actually going to be Umbra's going to have to stop right after Dade, and then I'm going to stop after that with Shinda. They're on like different timers. Hands up, don't shoot. Could I get another GCD? Yeah, probably. If you want to be really nice, you cover your Black Mage. I'll just throw an intervention, but you can cover them if you want. And they could just stand there, right? But like, just giving them the intervention is something that you could do on all tanks, right? Something you do on all tanks. Bloodwetting. You know, you give them the Nascent, you give them the Heart of Crundum, you give them the TBN. Maybe it's a loss on TBN if it doesn't pop, but it's a bigger loss if they die. You get the Passage of Arms here. It's not bad at all. Also, yeah, Shamu, of course. You guys have any questions about any of the tanks, I got you. They're not that bad. They're not that bad. They may seem like they're new and have changed a lot, but ultimately they haven't. Warrior's got some tech it can do for optimization. But it's not too bright. I'm going to actually save my Imperator, which is our ranged Requiescat now. Some attacks, now you notice you saw the animation go off, but the damage had already registered. Some attacks, the damage registers at the end, and you will get hit by that motion sensor. So even if you stopped moving, and you're like, I'm good, what happened, I'm good, like, that's kind of what's going on there. This pack, very dangerous. So we're going to utilize a caster LB. And I'm actually going to invuln this set. I'll wait till I get a little bit lower before I invuln, because now my rec combo is going to heal me back up while I'm invulned, right? Boom. You start getting your mitigation going. I'm going to save Rampart for the next pack. I'll start stunning. If you have a white mage, then you're good, and you can actually hold your invuln, because the white mage is going to get holy up. And then the same thing's going to happen, right? You're going to get your healing while they're stunned from holy. You start getting ready for the next room. Your sprint's not going to come up yet. It'll be up by the time you're at the end. So right now I'm going to have it. Boom. And before they've even spawned, I'm good, right? And I think I'm actually missing a turret. Maybe I'm not. I'm not missing a turret. But it's always good to double check. Everything should appear on your enmity table right away. That's not always going to be the case. Sometimes you'll have to actually poke them, but should always be the case. And then you could stun, get things going when you want. And remember what I said before, if there's multiple enemies, you're like, oh gosh, you know, it looks like I gotta start stunning a couple of things, right? Paladin is explicitly really good at that, right? They're really good at that because they have Shield Bash. And people may say Shield Bash is weak, but let's say you have a melee in your team, or you are a melee, and you notice that the tank stunned one, you could stun another enemy with your, what is it, low blow? No, it's leg sweep. We have low blow, they have leg sweep. And a little bit of lore for those of you who didn't know, leg sweep used to be part of a Dragoon's rotation. It used to deal damage. It used to deal damage. So you would actually use it in your rotation back in a Realm Reborn. And so you had that and Spine Shatter Dive, right, would both stun the enemy. So on enemies like Ifrit that can be stunned in the higher level trials, you would wait to stun like Eruption or, you know, Incinerating, but your Dragoon would make them immune to stun like right away. It was pretty annoying. I was the Dragoon, it was me. I did it. But I got my opener, and I got potency, and I got burst. I got to use it, you know? Use it or lose it. Dude, Derive Paladin is fun. It's easily in my top 4 tanks. Dragoon's like number 5. I'm going to wait right here, right where I'm standing right now. There's going to be a stack that's going to come out in a second. And I'm going to wait right here. Yes, sir. It's a little bit of a trap to use your burst here. The boss is about to die, so I'm going to hold it. Unless you can't. Like maybe you're a summoner or whatever. And then if you want to, like right when this guy's getting ready to turn into a lizard, I'm gonna pop Rampart if Dade wants to, or your healer wants to, like get some mitigation up to get ready for what's coming. Like I'm gonna pop I'll pop my Rampart now. So now I have this increased healing, and now we're good, right? So now we begin the encounter. It was free. It was a free cast. And technically, they could stand in that. I did put Veil up, so they have the choice. It's good for if you have people who don't really want to be, you know, too mobile. And if you're really fast, you only lose like a GCD. If you have ranged abilities, use your ranged abilities, but... We're gonna have our tank buster. Oh no! Anyway. Holy Sheltron is so good. Holy Sheltron's awesome. So you want to be the opposite of what it casts. You want to be behind because it's casting foreguard. You want to be in front because it's casting rear guard. The third one, we don't know what it is yet. We want to be in front because it's casting rear guard, and then it should close out with another foreguard, so we want to be behind. Assuming it does 2 and 2. I have not yet seen it do 3 and 1. But you can easily react to whatever it's casting. It's no big deal. And as you notice, as I'm filling up on my gauge, I'm still running my Holy Sheltrons on myself. It's free mitigation. And right there, I Passage of Arms our Astrologian and our Pictomancer. Umbra and Dade, reverse order. And then Shinda, our Black Mage, I gave an intervention because they were not in the Passage of Arms, right? So it's very simple to do. You can put up a Veil here in case people are late or just want a greed. Like the boss is going to die here, so they could just stand still. I'm going to give this to Shinda in case Shinda wants to stand still. And if you're wondering how that mechanic works, the boss goes through the middle the whole way, and the blade follows the slither. So you could just run right up the middle, and you're fine. And yeah, that's how you tank a dungeon in Dawntrail and don't lose aggro to anybody. It's really not that bad. If you're on Warrior, you can use Equilibrium to help you. If you're on Dark Knight, you're going to cry because you don't have any snap aggro, but generally speaking, you could just use Reprisal on enemies to snap them. You can use your OG CDs like Flood of Shadow, Bow Shock, Blasting Zone. It's all very helpful. If you're going to put up like Circle of Scorn or Bow Shock on enemies to snap aggro, it's better than like waiting for them to all group and then putting it on for the dot and losing aggro and having somebody potentially die or not be grouped and then they miss the dot anyway, right? So like it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I hope this helps you guys.